In this episode, we're going to be discussing fatigue in training. When is the right and wrong time to take a break from your training, and if there is a wrong or right time, and what else?
Fatigue strategies, things that we can do to help us stay feeling fresher for longer and not so fatigued with the monotony of training.
Which can mitigate injuries, increase training performance and output, and potentially help someone stay the course with their diet for longer. So you mentioned earlier that you're feeling a little bit beat up, yeah?
Very tired. I've been pushing my training quite hard recently. I've been getting a good bit of momentum in these like higher intensity phases. So I've just been trying to capitalize on it. You know, I've been feeling good, been lifting pretty decent, just staying in this phase for a little longer, lifting heavier for a little longer. Fatigue's starting to ramp up, and I think people can get a little bit scared of that, especially all these these guys who are new into all the science-based training and stuff. It's like, oh, you got to manage like your MRV and you do the MEV and all of these like buzzwords that kick around, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I only slept for 7 hours and 59 minutes. I'm fatigued, and therefore there's more fatigue in the system. I have to auto-regulate all this down. Yeah. I think I said this even on the last podcast.
Yeah, the whoop, isn't it?
Yeah,
the dictator on your wrist.
Yeah, exactly.
Dictating your life.
Oh, you're fit. I feel amazing. Oh no, I don't. I actually don't feel amazing. My whoop said. Yeah, so I feel like with heavy training over time, you will get fatigue, or with just like hard training over time, you will be fatigued. But then it's just like understanding the strategies in place to be able to like dissipate that fatigue at the right time, so then you can get better like training performance in the long term, which is what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, you mentioned two acronyms there, MEV and MRV. Do you want to explain? Because I'm sure there's people listening going, what the fuck is MRV and MRV and MEV? Yeah,
so MEV is minimum effective volume. So basically the least amount you can do in the gym to give you sort of like minimum results. And then you got MRV, which is like maximal recoverable volume, which is basically the other end of the spectrum. So the most volume that you can do and recover from. So there's like this sort of balance, and it sort of sits between sort of like 8 to 15 sets per muscle group per week is where like the current literature is spitting out, assuming that those sets are done to like sort of like 0 to 3 RIR, which is the stuff that we discussed last week when we were training.
Yeah, and I'll just say, guys, if you haven't watched that podcast, we've had some good reviews from it. I'll link it above here. Have a look at it. It's we talk quite a lot about the stuff that we're going to be talking about here. So go up there to watch it.
Yeah. Like those sort of like buzzwords, people can like sort of get a little bit engrossed in that sort of stuff, and
especially with whoop, right? Because I think whoop measures MRV, and MEV, and I'm not quite sure. I've never had a whoop band.
Yeah, neither have I.
So I'm not quite sure how it works. So I don't want to just.
That'd be quite a cool sponsor, whoop.
Yeah, please.
Keen as. But yeah, it does. It considers all that sort of stuff, and I think like I'm not sure if it considers nutrition, but it definitely considers sleep. Which will then, be put into this sort of maybe an algorithm.
I think it is an algorithm.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast with the Whoop owner on yesterday.
Oh, really?
I couldn't sleep last night, so I checked it on Modern Wisdom. Do you watch?
I've seen him.
Chris Williamson.
Yeah.
He had the Whoop owner on, and he said some really interesting stats. He said, because when you're, I guess, Whoop basically has got so much data from across the world, and he said that the people who go to bed latest, or the country that goes to bed latest, can you think of who it is?
The States?
No. Middle Eastern country. I can't remember if it was Doha or something. But They go to bed around 1:30 on average. And their hypothesis is that because they haven't got alcohol culture over there, they're always drinking caffeine, nicotine, and that makes them stay up for longer, essentially. I found that really interesting.
Yeah, really interesting.
The US and another country who had the highest amount of sex, apparently. They were able to look to see how often people have sex. Yeah, Irish are the most, drink the most.
Really?
Yeah, because they're able to track all that through the Whoop band. Yeah, powerlifting is the most popular sport in the UK that people use to track their workouts on.
Really?
Powerlifting and weightlifting. Yeah, and there was a kind of debate going on then whether people, so they haven't got the bodybuilding method to track an exercise. So their hypothesis was people are just putting in powerlifting or weightlifting instead of
just doing
bodybuilding. So I think they're going to try and get bodybuilding in there as a. But yeah, that's
super
cool.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, to touch back on like MEV, MRV, is they're all just fancy buzzwords. You don't need to know it. All I would say is just like, if you are getting tired in the gym, just start on the lower end and then build up. Like if you're training chest, do like 8 sets per week of hard chest, direct, chest movements, machine press, flies, and the like. And then if you feel fresh and your pecs feel good, do a little bit more, and then do a little bit more, and then you can start to work out then where your sort of like MEV, MRV lands, and then you can recover from that. A lot of people, especially like novices, go to the gym and they go hard, like so hard, so fast, and then they just go like, this like dump of fatigue, and then they're like, oh my god, this is new for my body, and I've done too much. They feel awful, and then they just sort of like fade away. Then, especially when people
pick up illnesses, pick up injuries. You know, immune system is wrecked because they put in stress on it, and then they go, oh, I don't like this.
I know.
You know, this is too hard. It's only so hard because you went too hard from the get-go. Introduce yourself slowly. We literally spoke about it in the last podcast, people going from 0 to 100, getting that bump of motivation, that bump of enthusiasm, excitement, and going, right, I'm going to gym 5 times this week, but they've done nothing for the past 3 or 4 months. And it's like, you can't handle it because you're mentally weak, not because there's something wrong with you, but just because you haven't built that tolerance up yet. Do that first and then add more.
100%. And it's the same. I did my coach development call today, and we were talking about like program design, and we were looking specifically at like development blocks, so 65 to 80%. And like the programming methods that I use is like Cotton Eye Joe program. Like, where'd you come from? Where'd you go?
Okay, tell us. So, I'm intrigued to know more about this. But actually, first of all, you mentioned this 65% and 75%. I think you said those numbers. 65 to
80%. Yeah.
Do you want to explain to the viewers what you mean by that?
Yeah. So 65 to 80% of like 1RMs or like projected 1RMs. You know.
So that's what they'd load the bar with. To train.
So say for example, your best bench press was 100 kilos, you would be working between 65 and 85%, or 65 and 80 kilos in that phase of training. Those sort of like numbers, and then you'd respond. You know, like programming 3 sets of 8 at 65 kilos, and then how hard was that? And then it's like, okay, do we need to bump up that that max to make it like 105 kilos, so it bumps up the numbers a little bit more, or is it landing pretty well? Are we falling within that sort of like 1 to 3 RIR? And then what variable is letting you down? Is it work capacity? Is it strength output? Like we can start to dig a bit deeper then, but that's like the art of coaching, is going a little bit off topic.
I was going to say, I think that's really interesting for the viewers to hear as well. I think when people think that they can bench 100 kg, but then they're going into a muscle building phase, if they're doing 65%, which is 65 kilograms, they're so far removed from what they think they can actually do for 1 rep. They think, I'm not going to build muscle lifting 65 kg. So no, the evidence and the research suggests that anywhere between 65 to 80% of your 1 rep max, that will induce some kind of, or that will induce muscle gains, as long as it's taken within 1 to 3 reps.
For sure.
1 to 3 RIR of failure. So I think that's really refreshing for people to hear. You don't have to like be maxing out near, your true 1 RM.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you want to
muscle building phase.
Yeah, especially if you want to like push up like your bench press. You want to sort of stay within those realms of intensity, because it'll allow you as well to like get some technical competence as well. So yeah, important. So the Cotton Eye Joe programming is like, if we take on a client and they've like just finished a competition and these are like fresh maxes and they've just done a peak, they're going to then compromise like the qualities that you express in a peaking phase is all about expressing strength. So then the qualities, like general fitness qualities that you lose, is generally work capacity. So your ability to handle volume, because in a peaking phase, you're not doing much. You're probably doing like 1 to 4 reps per week of like a lift. And then you go into a development phase, you're probably doing like 3 sets of 10. So it's like 30 reps. You've gone from 3 reps to 30 in a completely different signal. So your body's like, oh my God, this is hard.
So I was then fucked after my comp. Because I just doing 2 sets of 8. 16 reps in comparison to the 3. Massive, makes a huge. When you haven't done it for a while, it's a lot.
So then that's like a consideration for programming at that point. But then if they're already off a back of a development block, their work capacity and their readiness is going to be specific to those intensities. So then they can probably handle a little bit more. They would have become more accustomed to those intensities and volumes. So you could probably edge it all up a little bit more. So like understanding those things is pretty important to finding that balance of like wrecking someone or not. So yeah, like even so the point of me saying that is like, if you're brand new to lifting, you can go hard real quick. But also if you're an established lifter and you're going from a phase of a peak into a development, you can run the risk of going hard in that as well, and going too hard and building up too much muscle damage and finding it hard to create momentum in that phase.
I think people underestimate. Well, there's 2 camps. Some people train to avoid soreness altogether. The sub-max crew, we've been a part of that before. And then there are some who chase soreness and who get pissed off if they're not sore the next day. I've had clients before come to me and, week 1, they're feeling sore because they're brand new, not brand new to training, but coming back to training after a long layoff. And then in week 2, it's like, I'm not feeling sore this week.
Yeah.
And or they almost say it in a way of, this week didn't work then, or this week was pointless. And you have to explain to them, it's probably a good thing that you're not sore in week 2 in comparison to week 1, because your body's adapted to the stimulus that you've put on it, and you're recovering better. And also, soreness isn't an indicator of whether a workout was successful or not.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't really remember. If I remember back to when I first trained, when I was like 16 years old in the measure center doing pec decks and doing bicep curls, that pain that I experienced for the first week of that, I've never ever experienced it since.
Yeah.
Because it's like a feeling that you can't describe, and you'll probably never feel again.
Yeah. Mate, like I did calf raises, right, for the first time in UFIT on their machine, like years ago. Oh, years, like probably like 7-8 years ago, maybe even longer. And the next day I was going to Holland to see my mate out there. And I don't even know why I did it. I never trained calves, like never. And I just was like, oh, I'm going to go on this calf machine. I did like 4 sets of 20 or something. Like, and it was like
60 reps.
Mate, the next day I was like, I can't walk. Like it was killing, killing. Every step that I took and my knee went slightly forward, I thought my calf was just going to fucking rip off. And then the day after that, I was gone. He was walking around Amsterdam, and I was like, I just don't think I can do this anymore.
Enjoying the experience.
The tiniest little touch of my calf was killing.
You should smoke some weed.
Yeah, I know.
I got rid of it.
I know. It was fucked. And I was like, I'm never training calves again. But I just went too hard, and I never did it. It was like, my calves have never been trained like that. So it was like completely novel. If I was to do that again, I'd probably do like 1 set of 10. And then next week, 2 sets of 10.
Bro, I think I need to do some fucking calves. They're pathetic, honestly. Yeah, yours are nice and chunky. Yeah, speaking about DOMs, like when I did that, my ultra, the Brecon Beacons a year ago, I was a disabled person for about 2 or 3 days. Yeah. No exaggeration. I was lying on the couch and I had to do that to move my leg. I couldn't physically move my leg.
So much muscle damage.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
I would not recommend. I would not recommend doing a fucking ultra with 6 months training. That's the most stupidest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
But
so let's talk about we've touched on like building fatigue and trying to manage fatigue and stuff like that. So what are strategies that you can implement, what the viewers can implement to help them sort of keep fatigue at bay and just have that nice balance? Because we don't want to shy away from fatigue. Like you will get sore, like you will have like muscle soreness. It's inevitable. You're never going to train and be completely fresh the next day. Training soreness is inevitable. Building fatigue is desirable because that's how your body's going to go through an adaptation process to get bigger and stronger. So what things can we do to create a better average over time that we can keep coming to the gym, keep pushing hard, keep getting that stimulus, but then keep recovering from it so we can get more productive training over time?
It's probably something that most people don't want to hear, and it's sleep. Go to bed fucking earlier. Get into a consistent sleeping routine. Bed at the same time. Try and wake up at the same time. Not just Monday to Friday, but also Saturdays and Sundays if you can. Now, that sounds very, very boring and very granddaddy. But I think sleep. Sleep, I think, is if you could bottle or package or put the feeling and the response of good, optimal sleep into a pill, I think it would be up there with opioids.
Oh yeah, I think sleep will overtake PEDs as well.
If they were able to create something to optimize sleep.
100%. You can take all the drugs under the sun, have the most extensive drug protocol, and if you're not sleeping well, that drugs will do nothing. But then I feel like if you didn't take drugs but slept well, the performance would probably be better for better sleep.
But people don't want to hear it, do they? Because it's boring.
Yeah.
You can't. There's not there's not like big sleep. There's big pharma. There's big food. There's not big sleep because you can't really profit off it.
No.
But it's like.
I think like melatonin and ZMA and glycine and there's supplements and stuff you can take to help with it, and then like pharmaceutical like Zopiclone, but you actually don't get like better sleep. I've had clients that take Zopiclone
I've heard this as well.
and have like better sleep duration as a result of like falling asleep through being like sedated. But then as a result, they wake up feeling like pretty shit. They don't go through like the sleep cycles. They don't go deep light and REM. So then they don't get the quality sleep. And then as a result of that, they wake up feeling a bit shit, a bit clouded.
Alcohol is another one as well. Weed is another one. People think if I smoke weed, I'll have like a glass of wine before bed. There is some research to suggest that it does skew that sleep
Yeah.
cycle, that
and heart
REM,
rate,
deep
and heart rate variability as well.
Yeah.
So there's the best thing is like sleep hygiene, they call it, don't they? Getting into like a dark room,
I
cool
was just going to
temperature.
say, what would you suggest, and to help people improve their sleep hygiene?
So one thing I'm really bad at is getting off my phone before bed. Like my sleep routine is watch like a golf video before bed, like in bed. Saf puts an eye mask on, goes to sleep, and I watch a golf video.
Okay.
And it's like escapism for me. And I've been doing that recently. It's not good, but
Why is it not good? The blue lighting, I'm
blue lights,
assuming?
yeah, and just screen time.
Yeah.
It's like stimulating your brain, isn't
Uh-huh.
it? So not ideal. But what I would recommend for people is to get off their screens, get off telly. Don't have a telly in your room. Do you have a telly in your room?
We do, but we try not to use it if we can.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Last night we used it because I put the Batman Dark Knight on because me and Soph, we fell asleep and we both woke up at the same time.
Yeah.
At like 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we were both just tossing and turning for about an hour. And it very rarely happens. Just couldn't go to sleep. But put Dark Knight on and fell straight asleep.
Yeah.
Because it was boring. Shit.
So I'd say screen time, reduce screen time, a dark room, blackout blinds if you can.
Phone in another room?
If you want. If you're weak. You're quite weak, aren't you, with your phone?
I put my phone in another room.
Do you?
And
What about alarm? What about your alarm? You have an alarm clock?
No, I have so I've got 2 alarms. One of them I only use in winter. So the Lumi light.
Yeah.
So I use that in the winter because it mimics natural light, gets me out of bed a lot easier. And then right now, because my phone's in another room, my alarm goes off in the other room. So I literally have to get up and walk to my other room. And some nights I'll have, so generally my sleep's pretty good, but I'll have the odd night, maybe twice a month, where I just can't sleep. I don't know what, it just happens twice a year. I can't really put my finger on why it happens. But I had the tendency to then turn to my phone and then just be on my phone.
Yeah.
And I'd be up then. I'd go 24 hours without sleeping, basically.
Really?
Because, and it used to piss me off. And that's why I put my phone in another room now, so I don't even go in there to get it. I just ride it out, and within an hour or two, I do fall back asleep. But that's very, very rare. I'm a very good sleeper. I'm very fortunate in that way. So I definitely suggest putting your phone in another room if you are someone who does turn to their phone if you can't sleep or whatnot. Lumi light as well. I'd definitely suggest that. Blackout blinds you mentioned, and you were going to say temperature as well, right? Mm-hmm. Tell me more about that.
I don't know the optimal temperature. I just know it should be
18.
Cool. Is it?
I think it might be 18.
I use my fan. Like I got a fan on me like pretty much all the time.
What is it? Which fan is it?
Dyson.
So does it make a noise?
Yeah, but like it's like white noise.
That pisses me off. See, I can't sleep.
Really?
No.
White noise is another one. So Maxon is like temperature control. Well, no, sorry, we don't control the temperature.
Maxon is Jordan's
my son.
So, I laugh my head off sometimes when I edit these videos. Jordan has a tendency, guys, to reel off names of people that we know personally, but you guys are watching from like, well, where did you say someone was watching from before when he came into the gym?
Oh, Latvia.
So Latvia, we got people watching this podcast from Latvia, America. We got most viewers are from the States.
Really?
Yeah, and then obviously the UK.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
don't assume that these guys know who Maxen is, who Brad is, and whoever else you reel off.
All right, sorry. It's not relevant anyway. So it is relevant. This in this instance is relevant.
Yeah.
So Maxon's 9 months. So we don't control the temperature, but we put clothes on relevant to the temperature, so somewhat controlling it. He has blackout blinds, but bro, he goes to bed with lullabies on and white noise, and then he sleeps straight through 7 till 7.
Nice.
But yeah, white noise apparently is another one. I slept really good when Maxon was in our room, like in the next to me with white noise on. So that's another technique. But yeah,
brain dumping is another one. Have you heard of brain dumping?
What's that?
So you dump any thoughts that you've got in your mind on a piece of paper. So I'm terrible for like not getting into my own head, but getting ideas at random o'clock.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this new invention of yours, son.
Yeah.
And I used to just like kind of fucking think about it when I was in bed.
Yeah.
But now I dump it on a piece of paper or on a note section on my phone before bed, leave it there, and it's like gone.
Really?
And if that's relevant, I'll explore it tomorrow. 90% of the time, it's irrelevant shit that is a good idea in my head, but fucking shit when I look at it the next morning.
Yeah.
So brain dumping's another good one.
Yeah, nice.
Meditation before bed can be good as well. Breath work, put you in a meditative state. Music.
Yeah.
Calming music, turning the lights down to not having bright lights, big light. like fucking too bright.
Yeah.
So yeah, me and Soph have got like these adjustable dimmers. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, so
you
those are the
set
tips.
the tone.
You'll see that Dan's so much more precious with all this fucking Lumi lights phone in the other room. Definitely
I
don't
like
have
to
to do
try
that.
things out.
Yeah. But yeah, so sleep is one. Obviously a very big recovery thing.
Would you say that's the top?
With nutrition.
Nutrition as well?
I say sleep and nutrition are like the main two. So like for me, the sort of like the triad of recovery is training. So getting like training volume and intensity like down to a groove. That's where we can help. Then sleep and nutrition. Those three things are sort of sit at the top, and then shit underneath that, like supplement protocols, like underneath that, massage comes under that, cryotherapy's under that, hot cold contrast. There's like more recovery things. What else do people do? Like massage guns and foam rolling and stuff like that. They're all underneath.
Myofascial release.
Yeah, myofascia.
Myofascial release.
Yeah, all all of that sort of shit.
Do you remember compression pants?
Normatex. Yeah, there's those as well.
Yeah, I've never tried Normatex. I just have the skins.
Bro, I went to the recovery lounge in Penarth, and their little room that you go through is you go in the sauna for 20 minutes, then you cold plunge. You can repeat that twice if you want. Then you have infrared. Then you go Normatec trousers, and I think that's it. It had like a mask as well. I don't know what the mask was for.
Like fucking just on your something.
Something like that. But honestly, I think like that sort of stuff is like they're all 1%ers. Like, that's not doing big things for you. They're little 1%ers. If you look after sleep nutrition and you want to explore other things, like I was going to say Katie then. One of my clients,
yes,
one of my clients got me a voucher for the flotation tank, and it's just like complete darkness. You just float in a tank. And that's meant to be really good, and they list off a real fucking benefits, and I think it's just a cool experience. I don't think I'm not going to get out of that and be like, feel like I'm 10 years younger and my joints are like brand new and stuff like that. Those are all the 1%.
And something else that's when you're talking about aging, then there's some research that's come out that suggest that potentially psilocybin can prevent aging at the cellular level.
Oh, bollocks, bro.
Again,
that's confirmation bias.
Well,
he fucking loves mushrooms.
No, I didn't. I'm not agreeing with it.
No,
but I saw that research.
You're in the echo chamber.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So Dan's in like probably all of these, like, I don't know this, but he's probably in all these like psilocybin sort of pro, like, this release, and this psilocybin does this. It gives you like this euphoria for this, and now he's in this echo chamber of like positivity of psilocybin. So he's gonna draw upon it quite a lot. That doesn't count for sleep. No, sorry, that doesn't count for recovery.
No, definitely not for recovery.
Yeah, but nutrition, I think, is up there as well.
Yeah, I think within.
If you're skipping meals and you're eating shit, you're not recovering from workout.
Say,
if protein is like limited,
from one extreme to the other. If your diet is absolutely shit, and then your diet is very, very good, you will see a massive difference. If your diet's okay, and then I think the mistake people make is like they try and like optimize it. I think we're in the optimized society at the moment where everyone's trying to optimize everything. You've got these billionaire tech bros who haven't got anything fucking better to do, which are just trying to build these like optimization protocols.
Yeah.
But I think for someone like you and me, if we were to like optimize our nutrition, I don't think there'd be that much of a difference to our recovery.
Yeah, just because we eat well.
Yeah, that's my point. We eat relatively well. I think if it was an actual nutrition, or if even you looked at my diet and I looked at your diet for the last 2 weeks, we'd probably both be like, oh, you could have done this better. You could have added a bit more of this in. But we're 90%, 95% way there. So for us, I don't think it would be that much of a difference.
Yeah.
For the average Joe.
Think of like people that go on benders, like you said about like on weekends and stuff, you want to sleep because they go out. They go out and they replace their calories with just alcohol and not good food. You're not recovering well from training. Having that.
No, that's 100%. Like alcohol is the worst.
Yeah.
As far as maybe not, as more so as far as like just how it makes you feel for the next day.
Oh, 100%, man.
And not just the next day. As you get older, the day after that, the day after that. I've been thinking a lot about alcohol recently, and I went about 2 years of not drinking alcohol. You've talked in previous podcasts before. You went years without drinking alcohol, right? Like you were, what was that word that people use? Teetotal.
Yeah.
And I went teetotal for 2 years before this year, and I've had 2 events this year. I've had a stag in Chester Races where I had a few drinks, and I had a wedding and I had a few drinks. Woke up feeling horrendous after both of them. lots of anxiety, like fucking felt like absolute shit for days after, ruminating really weird thoughts that would never come to fruition anyway. I'm like, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I'm fucking done with it.
And until we go to Mallorca in a couple of weeks.
No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to have a drink.
Well, even when we go out.
No, it doesn't do anything for me. I hate it.
Yeah, you don't have to do that, guys. You don't have to
No.
follow it down.
No. You don't have to. That's my worldview on it, based on my personal experience.
Yeah.
I'm not for, like, for me personally, I'm alcohol's done. But if you're someone who wants to live a little bit, drinking a few times a year, absolutely fine. Having a glass of wine with your meal on a Friday night with your partner, absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But that's just me. It's just.
No, I think it's fair, and I think more people are leaning towards that now.
Yeah.
You know.
I'd rather have some mushrooms.
Yeah. Psilocybin, euphoric.
Yeah. So nutrition. Okay, what do you think is the biggest thing that someone can do who's maybe on the leaning towards the shitter side of nutrition at the moment, who's watching this? What could they do to improve their recovery? One of the biggest needle movers that they can maybe add into the nutritional takeaway?
Inquire with Zero for nutrition coaching. It's probably the best thing they can do for the needle movement. I'd say prioritize protein. I honestly just don't think people eat enough protein. My sort of framework around that for like an arbitrary measure is like 2 to 3 grams per kilo of body weight. Will land you. Yeah. So 2 is like standard. 3 if you're in a calorie deficit for preservation of muscle.
That's a lot.
Yeah. But
then
I think 1.4 to 1.6 is like okay, and I'm upwards of like 2 to 3.
So that's really interesting. I'm about 1.8 to around 2.2. 2.2 if you're going in a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
2.4 if it's quite an extreme calorie deficit.
Yeah.
But then 1.8, sometimes 1.6, if you're in a muscle building phase.
Yeah.
Because you can get the calories from carbs and fats, and you will still build size on that end.
Yeah. So if we say get to 2 grams per kilo of body weight,
I think that's perfect.
That's plenty.
Yeah.
And I think people struggle with that. So that there's like loads of things. Like you can go higher than that if you're, like we say, calorie deficit trying to retain muscle. If you use PEDs, you don't need as much protein, so you can go on the lower end of that. I'm not sure how much of the viewers are into that sort of stuff. But I think protein gets lost hard. So that would be my key thing. Stay within those ranges, and it'll help with recovery for sure.
Anything else?
On nutrition?
No, the other thing, we talked about sleep, we talked about nutrition, you talked about supplements.
Yeah, supplements, they're I think they're just lower down on the priority list. Do you want to talk about supplements?
I'd say to cover your bases with creatine.
Yeah.
Glutamine, there's not enough research out there. Some people jizz over glutamine. They're like, oh, it helps me recover so much better. Personally, it did nothing for me.
Placebo.
I think placebo, but bear in mind, there's
placebo.
There's a lot to placebo.
Yeah, I'm into placebo.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in another podcast.
Yeah.
ZMA you mentioned.
Yep, I like ZMA. ZMA makes you dream. I don't track my sleep. I don't wear smart watches. I just wear a normal watch. So if I'm going to sleep,
do a 30-day trial just to measure it.
If they give it to me, I'll do it.
It's free.
I want it all given to me for free, and then I'll trial it. I'm not fucking into that sort of stuff. I don't track my calories, let alone tracking that sort of stuff. I'm really not into all of that trackable stuff.
What if it could take you to that next level though?
So what would piss me off is that it has to be on my wrist, and I wear wrist straps to bench, and I wear straps and stuff, and then I'd have to slide it up on my arm, and then that'd piss me off as well.
Just inconvenience it all.
Yeah, I could wear it on my ankle.
Can you do that?
I don't know. But I honestly don't like it. I feel like I do enough. I got enough stuff in this sort of world. I don't need to add any more stuff that draws me into another way of thinking, Yeah.
Don't need more things on your plate to measure and monitor. And
can't be asked. Nah. Cannot be asked. So yeah, I'd rather not do that. Whey protein, I think, is standard. I think you should have whey protein because I feel like without it, people don't hit their protein targets. I have protein in my porridge. I have protein in my Greek yogurt, dessert bowl at night. Banging.
Most underrated high protein meal that is, by the way.
100%.
40-50 grams of protein you can get in that.
Easy.
2 scoops of protein, 200 grams of low-fat Greek yogurt or full-fat, whatever you eat. Easy 50 grams.
Yeah, 100%. And then I'll have a shake after training.
Hit that anabolic window.
Anabolic window.
That's a really cool thing about
0.5%, isn't it?
Yeah. So funny thing the other day, it's not an anabolic window, it's more like an anabolic barn door.
A barn door, yeah.
Because it's like the people think like it's this really small window of opportunity, but it's like, bro, like hour, 2 hours, absolutely fine.
So yeah, 100%. And I again, like I've just finished training like before this. Sorry, let me start again. I finished training. I had a client, and then with the client I had electrolytes. I didn't have a protein shake then, and then I'm doing this podcast, and then I'll eat, and I'll be absolutely fine for my little anabolic window. I got French doors. Like, it's fine. It's open enough. Chill out.
Anything else?
What are the supplements? Like, you just go down a rabbit hole. I probably take too much supplements.
Vitamin D, I think.
Vitamin D, yeah. So I'll tell you my supplement stack.
Yeah, go on.
So morning, I take 4 omega-3 fish oils. I take 2 vitamin D3, so 5,000 IUs, which is a good amount. I take 2 multivits from Strom. I take ashwagandha for cortisol levels. That's it for morning.
How have you felt off ashwagandha? Sorry to...
Pretty good. Yeah, I genuinely feel a little bit more chill. And do you know what my marker is? So I went to get my haircut the other day, earlier in the week, Monday. And as I drove there, I got a flat tire, a nail in my tire, and it was pissing air out. Like, so I parked up my car outside the barber's, and I was like, that's going to be dead flat when I get back. And in a normal circumstance, I would be fucking livid, and I'd be like really kicking off. And I was just like, nah. And I just went and got my haircut, and I was like, I'll just think about what I'm going to do whilst I get my haircut. Told my barber, and I was like, I think I've got a pump in my car. I'll pump it up. I text my mate, and I'll be like, I'm coming to your garage. Have you got a spare tire, or can you plug it? And he's like, we'll sort something out. I've got a courtesy car for you. So I was like, meh. Text my client, and I was like, can we push back half an hour? I've got a flat tire, I've got to take it. They were like, yeah. Text the other client, I was like, can you push back half an hour? They were like, yeah. I was like, that'll do. And then I just got my haircut, pumped the tire up, and it was actually quite hectic because I pumped it up and it was still pissing air out. So I pumped it up as much as I could, and then it was like a race against time to drive to the garage. Yeah. Hey, got there, got in the scooter, so I come here, and I was like, absolutely fine. It inconvenienced my day a bit, obviously, but nothing too bad. And they pushed I finished work like two hours later or something like that, so I had to do all the admin shit, and that was it. And I was like, I'm not saying ashwagandha changed my life, but I was chill. Yeah. But like, it was probably just one of those days where I was actually pretty chill.
You should just look at in that camera and go, ashwagandha changed my life. That'll be a perfect ad for an ashwagandha supplement.
I'm not even doing that. Ashwagandha didn't change my life.
And I only asked that because I saw Huberman do a Instagram video or whatever a few days ago, and he mentioned that long-term effects of taking ashwagandha has shown that some people lose the what's the word I'm trying to look for? They stop feeling, as in like it numbs their feeling towards things.
Oh, really?
Long-term use, yeah. So he's like, you should probably cycle it in 4 to 6 week cycles, come off it for a bit. Bollocks. If you're starting to feel yourself, like become numb to emotions. You hate Huberman, do you?
Yeah, I reckon loads of the stuff is just nonsense. No fucking way is it doing that. There's no way it's doing that, and people are reporting that they're starting to feel numb. No fucking chance. If that's the case, it's not ashwagandha. It's just other areas that are way more powerful in your life.
Is like fucking depression tablets or something.
Yeah, fucking hell. Grow up, Huberman. But I take that, and then before bed I take glycine, ZMA, and like a support. It's called Support Max from Strong. It's like a joint support supplement. That's it.
Do you find that the joint support stuff does something? Because I've started running recently.
I haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
I haven't got a clue. I like to think so. But it was fucking gross. Like,
it must work then. It's gross.
Oh, mate,
it
was like turmeric. He was marking me as well.
Oh,
it got to the point where I was making it as a shake, and I was like, I can't drink this. So I've been bombing it, and it's like giving me goosebumps. It makes me go like this. Gross. Like, it tastes minging. It's like turmeric.
It
just gets everywhere.
Taking a minging supplement because you're like, oh wow, this is working.
I know. I've told a couple of my clients as well, and they were like, "You're fucking ridiculous." I'm just like, I just don't care. I'll never buy it again. I won't take it again because it's that gross. But I wouldn't get rid of it. Yeah. But I've been managing my fatigue well. I've been lifting good. My joints have been feeling all right.
Yeah. Let me know then how long have you been taking that for?
I've just finished it. So it was probably, I think there was 30 servings. So about a month it was.
So if you start feeling that your joints are getting worse, let me know because I've started running again now. I want to make sure that I'm looking after my knees, looking after my hips.
Yeah.
I'm adding stuff into it just to So you start feeling
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So I take quite a lot of stuff, and I don't even know that much about it. I fall for marketing quite a lot.
Marketer's dream.
Bit of a marketer's dream, but I'm also like trying to cross my T's, dot my I's. So I'm pushing quite hard, and I've got big goals at the end
What
of
does
the
that
year.
mean? Crossing my T's, and I've never heard that before.
Fuck off, yeah, you have.
I swear to God, I've never heard that saying before.
It just basically means that you're like leaving no stone unturned.
Right.
Heard that?
I've heard that.
Okay, yeah. It's
Crossing my
that.
T's and
Dotting my I's.
cross eye.
You know, yeah. So I'm just basically trying to do things in my power to make sure that I'm trying to do the 1%ers, and if they give me 1%, cool. Because 1% when you're trying to like push hard is quite a big deal. So yeah, a little bit of those subs is good. They might over-counter subs anyway.
Yeah.
We'll touch on the others.
I think there's a real wisdom and that funness of trying things and experimenting.
Yeah, I mean, I love it, and I know the guy that owns the supplements that I buy, Strom and Rich, and I like it. I like the brand. So I'm like,
Do you want to give him
and
a
the
shout
stuff.
out?
No,
No.
I don't. I don't like him that much. We'll leave that in. It's quite funny. Yeah, well, that's it. If they sponsor us, then fuck yeah, I'll shout him out. But
Go on.
no,
Oh.
they come to us.
All right. Yeah, sure. Cool. I think we've tied up everything on my end. So cool.
Yeah,
Hope you enjoyed that, guys.
we'll dive a bit deeper into the training stuff next week. We'll talk about like deloads, and scheduled deloads, and how to deload and block length and stuff. I'll talk about that. I like that sort of stuff. That's like my coach educator hat. We'll touch on that, but then we'll be training on the next podcast again. We'll do that format again.
You're going to be
We'll touch
around
on
next
stuff.
Thursday?
Yeah, next Thursday. Yeah, I am. I'm going to
Not
Ireland
the
on
one
Friday.
after.
The
'Cause
one
we'll be away.
after, I'm going to train really early.
No, we'll be away, won't we?
Yeah, but we fly later in the day, don't we? Our
What
flight
time do we
our
train?
flight is like 4 p.m. So
Oh,
I'm
so
going
we-
to come in early and train.
All right, we could do that then if you want to.
Yeah, early
Just
morning
film it.
session.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get a haircut then and
I'm
go.
not going to haircut today.
Are you?
Yeah, and then I'll have them before we go as well.
Yeah,
So,
nice.
Yeah.
Sick.
All right, awesome, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one, and let us know as well in the comments if you enjoyed the trading one, because we can do more of them, or keep doing them, I should say, if you have enjoyed them. Peace out.
Sweet.
Cool. Awesome. That's
Cheers, boy.
good idea doing that today. We should got another one in the tank. Then.
Yeah.